Hi, my name is Randy Batal, and I'm the co-founder of the Montreal AI Ethics Institute. And I'm here in Geneva at the AI for Good Global Summit, and I'm joined by Rebecca, who is the Director of Global Health Initiatives at Element. Welcome.
Thank you, and thank you for the conversation.
I'm really excited about this. Well, let's just jump right into it. What does AI for Good mean to you?
Well, I think for us, it's about good use of AI, and that means starting with the problem. We have to identify the problem because at the end of the day, AI, it's a tool, it's a technique. And for us, good use of AI means starting with the problem, understanding why we use a technique. For us, it's deep learning. What is it that we're trying to achieve? And then once we've achieved that, let's say with a model, how do we package it? How do we implement it? And how do we make sure it has real world impact?
My understanding is that Element is developing biometric digital identity, and it's for the healthcare space. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Absolutely. So for us, we're really following that global push for universal health coverage. How do we improve access to healthcare? How do we expand equity of care? And how do we reduce the cost of delivering those services at a national scale, at a global scale? And if you look at our partners, from folks working in community health, community maternal health, to clinicians, to providers, to insurance companies, large hospitals, all of these folks, there's a tremendous amount of innovation that's happening in that space. A lot of innovation, actually, we're seeing here at the AI for Good conference. But so much of that innovation is being delivered digitally. And in fact, a lot of it is being delivered on mobile devices. And one of the hardest things to do is, particularly in healthcare, those are people. And so we need to think about how do we connect people in the physical world to services in the digital world, and again, across that health ecosystem. So for us, we look at the mobile devices that already proliferate the world, that already proliferate the health ecosystem, that are at truly every touch point, and say, how can we leverage that to deliver this biometric digital identity and link patients to care across their lifespan and across the continuum?
I like that this biometric digital identity has applications beyond healthcare, in insurance, financial services. What are some of the broad ethical considerations or issues that you're seeing come up in conversations at summits like this?
Absolutely. Well, I think one of the things we're really encouraged by is the focus on ethical AI. So privacy and consent, how data is collected, how it's consented to, how do we minimize the data and protect personal information. So certainly the way in which we think about it, the separation of biometric data and other personal identifiable information. For us, it also goes right down to the techniques we use. So again, with the deep learning architectures and the models that we use, creating a native security architecture to protect that data. So again, it goes back to those tools. Why did we decide to use that tool? To protect it, to secure it, but also to enable that mobile delivery to cover all of those questions about how do we make it accessible, how do we make it usable by populations all over the world.
So building on that, what have you seen change from last year's summit to this year's summit?
So I think one of the biggest things we've seen is last year there was so much that was still theoretical. There were people who had maybe amassed data, maybe they were training models, they were thinking about what, let's say, that dynamic clinical algorithm could look like. And this year, we've seen a bit more focus on the implementation. And I think that translation, once you build that tool, but then you need to think about the implementation or the delivery is really encouraging, but it's really hard. And I think one of the things our team has really focused on is how do we think about that delivery component right at the beginning of the product development cycle. And so that goes down to, I'll take our example of the infant biometric solution. One of the things we did there was looking at real-world data sets, working with partners in Bangladesh and Cambodia, now in Mozambique, to generate an infant biometric data set that was robust to real-world conditions, indoor, outdoor lighting, the different modalities of the infants themselves, because we were thinking about delivering something that's fit for purpose in those contexts and with those populations. So it's encouraging to see broader conversations on not just how do we build these systems, but why should they be built? Goes back to your ethical question. And then as we are building them, are we thinking about how we're really delivering them?
And implementation is always the hardest part to achieve, and it seems like you're working in a very complex system already. So I wish you all the best, but I have one last question.
Sure.
I understand that you guys are competing in the X Prize this year, and
We are.
it's happening in conjunction with this AI for Good Global Summit. Can you tell me a bit more about that and what you guys are looking for?
Absolutely. So this is again our work to, we have this adult solution for biometric recognition that we've built over several years, and with our partners have been working to extend that solution to infants and young children, and again specifically thinking about health and civil service delivery and how do we use that digital identity as a platform in which we can deliver services. And so through the X Prize, we are starting to do work with that team in thinking about how do we scale the solution, how do we build it, how do we build this in a way that's ethical and thinking about all of the impact and consequences, intended and unintended, of that solution. But I do think it goes down to the heart of our health strategy broadly, which is if we can deliver this digital identity on the mobile devices across the health ecosystem and do it across the lifespan, how does that change the way we deliver health services to, again, the world's populations? So for us, I think it's quite fitting that those conversations are going hand in hand, and we're really looking forward to the competition and the rest of the conference.
Perfect. Rebecca, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
Good luck with the X Prize.
Thank you.